Today we got episode 3 of GEP Talk, week 6 NBA update. Let's get right to it. So y'all, John Gebner here. We're back. We're finally back talking about the NBA. I know it's been a minute, but I decided to make another NBA episode for y'all. So currently we're in week 6 of the NBA, and a lot of developments have been happening. A lot of surprise players, a lot of breakout players. So Trae Young, who's got his Atlanta Hawks right now in the 8th seed. They're 8-8 right now. Trae Young is averaging 25.3 points, 8.7 assists, and 4 rebounds a game. Like I said in my first NBA episode, Trae Young is a great talent, but a key addition is the veteran, wise, true point guard, Rajon Rondo. He's really helping this Hawks team out, this young Hawks team out, and Trae Young's really been hooping. Also, Colin Sexton, he's been averaging 25.5 points. I mentioned him earlier. The Cavaliers are a surprise team, and they just beat the Brooklyn Nets 2 times in a row, and they had Kyrie, James Harden, and Durant too, so that's very impressive. Another shout out I have is Jason Tatum. Him and Jaylen Brown have been hooping all season long. They're a nice duo. Jason Tatum been averaging 26.9 points and 7 rebounds. The Celtics are really a good team. I think they're the biggest threat to the Nets in the East this season, realistically, but that's just my opinion. The Detroit Pistons, Jeremy Grant, has been averaging 24.3 points, 6.4 rebounds. Jeremy Grant he was on the Thunder. He's like third team, but he's really found a role in Detroit, and he's been playing very well and been executing. Another player I need to shout out, the hometown, who's been hooping for my hometown, the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine has been on a tear this whole season. Multiple 30-point games. He's been leading the Bulls team. The Bulls are somewhat competitive. They need a couple more people to step up, like Markkanen and Kobe White, the young Patrick Williams, and then the Bulls might have a chance of making the AC. But I cannot mention them. I need to mention them. So in the East right now, it starts off with Philly number 1. They're 12-5. The Bucks with Giannis and Drew Holiday, they're 10-6. They're number 2 so far. Boston, they come in at 9-6. At the 4 seed, you got the Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon and Domantas Sabonis, they both been averaging 20 points. Now you add Karis LeVert. Hopefully that injury is not too serious. It's fine. He had a unknown disease that he didn't know about, but hopefully they take care about. And Karis LeVert is back on the court because Karis LeVert is electric. He's finally gonna have a star role in Indiana Pacers, and it's gonna be exciting to watch. And shout out Miles Turner because he leads the NBA in blocks right now. Currently stand at 10-8 in the 5th seed. You have the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets will not be a 5 seed for that long. I think they will start winning. They just got to figure out the defense. The Cavaliers scored a lot of points on them, and Steve Nash needs to figure something out because I first said when that trade happens, the Brooklyn Nets gave up a lot of their bench, and they had to get rid of them and the key players on the bench. So that's why they've been struggling. Next, you got the 6th seed. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have giants. They have JaVale McGee, Andre Drummond, and Jared Allen. And then you got Darius Garland, Colin Sexton. They just had to get rid of Kevin Porter Jr. because he had problems in the locker room and he got traded. But the Cleveland Cavaliers have finally recovered from the loss of LeBron James, and they're ready to hoop. And it's really cool to see. They're an exciting team to watch. And in the 7th seed right now, you have the Atlanta Hawks. Once again, I mentioned Trae Young. You got a bunch of young players. You got Cam Reddish. You got Kevin Huerter. You got DeAndre Hunter. You got Clint Capella. Clint Capella, enormously underrated player. The Houston Rockets should have never let him go. The Atlanta Hawks really came up on that last trade deadline. And a team that I left off the surprises, but I just thought about now. We got to talk about the New York Knicks. They're the best defensive team in the league so far. Julius Randle's averaging 27 points. He's really been playing good for the Knicks so far, so I got to give him a shout-out then. So now we move over to the West. So in the 1 seed, you got the 13-4 Clippers. As I said in my first NBA video, I knew Paul George was going to be on a tear this season. As he said in many interviews, he was coming for people's necks. Paul George really had disappointed last playoffs, and he's really put in the work in this short offseason, and has really been came hooping this season so far. So the Clippers are coming strong. And the 2nd seed, who also have the same record as the Clippers right now, are the Lakers. The Lakers are really figuring out. LeBron James is still LeBron James. Anthony Davis has been struggling a little bit, but Anthony Davis is going to figure it out. And now you got Montrezl Harrell, Sabonis, and then you got the young player Taylor Horton Tucker coming off the bench. The Lakers are a really solid team. In the third seed, you got the 12-4 Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell has been hooping all season long. And so now we're going to talk about the Utah Jazz, who currently stand at 12.4. They've had a lot of key additions to the team. Jordan Clarkson has been averaging 17.4 points. Donovan Mitchell has been hooping all season. Shaq, you're dead wrong for saying Donovan Mitchell doesn't have the star capability to take over a game potential. Donovan Mitchell will put in the work ethic, and he will show that he's worthy of that player. Also, Mike Conley's been averaging a smooth 16.4 points. Then you got Bogan Bogdanovic. He also averaging 13.5. And the $1 million man, Rudy Gobert, averaging another 12.1. And then you got Ingles, another 10 points. So the Utah Jazz are a really deep team. Utah always plays tough basketball. They never get blown out, and they're always going to be around in the playoffs. Coming at the 4th seed right now, you got the Blazers. The Blazers are obviously led by Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. You also got Carmelo Anthony. He's 6-man role, limited minutes, but he can still knock the 3-point shot like anybody else. Also, we gotta talk about the young player from Duke, a guard, Gary Trent Jr. The Blazers always have these young guards, and they continue hoop. The only question mark is their center. They got Whiteside left the team. Nurkic has been hurt. They have an S Canner, but will that be enough? That might trouble the Blazers in the playoffs. In the 5th seed, you got the Denver Nuggets. Now, just like Utah, Denver really reminds me of them. Denver has a really deep team. You still got Jamal Murray, who's been on his tear this season, Gary Harris, Will Barton, Jokic, Bol, and Michael Porter Jr. The Nuggets have a really deep squad this year, and they're going to be a threat. They just need a lot of people to step up to really have a chance to make the finals. And then I got to give a shout out to the 6th seed Memphis Grizzlies, who are 7-6. They've been plagued by injuries this whole season. Ja's been out. Ja missed like 6 games. Jaren Jackson hasn't played 1 game this season, but they've been stepping up. Dylan Brooks, Brandon Clark, who else? Valanciunas has been playing solid, and Kyle Anderson. So now they just got Ja back healthy. I think the Grizzlies are really going to be competitive and really going to compete for that 6, 7, 8 seed. Absolutely. And the 7th seed, you got the Chris Paul led, Devin Booker scoring Phoenix Suns, who are really going to have a good season. DeAndre Ayton stepping up. You got Cameron Johnson. Like they currently stand at 8-7, and they've been hooping all season long. We're talking about the Western Conference. The Western Conference is so damn competitive. It's ridiculous. It's a bloodbath. And they currently stand in the 8th seed right now. You got the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs have been led by DeMar DeRozan and DeJounte Murray. You still got Aldridge, Patty Mills. The Spurs got a little squad, but I don't know if they're going to hold up for the 8th seed, because right behind them you got the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, and then right under that you got Steph Curry and the Warriors. Right now, the Warriors are so inconsistent. I think the Mavericks are going to take the 8th. If it's really like this at the end of the season, the Mavericks are going to take the 8th because the Warriors are so inconsistent, and they really don't play that good of a defense. So they need to get it together. But fouled up after Golden State, you got Houston 6-9. John Wall has been hooping all season. I hope he keeps it going. Hopefully, I have him predicted as an all-star, and I really want to see him getting in there. Then you got OKC, really young team. They're still a couple years away, but they're still there. In Sacramento, 6-10. I got to talk about De'Aaron Fox. He's been hooping all season long. He's averaging 20 points. Him and Holmes, they've really been a nice duo. And Buddy Hield is about to come back, so watch out for them. And our team that's really let me down this season so far with expectations, Pelicans 5-10. Maybe they make a run at the 8th seed, but they really need to get together quick. A lot of problems have been going on with Lonzo Ball's play, Coach Steve Van Gundy, and it's a shame because you got Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Bledsoe, and Steven Adams. I really thought they were going to be more competitive this season, but they haven't played to their full potential. But I think the James Harden, to Brooklyn Nets trade. It was a 3-team deal. The Cavaliers were involved, the Rockets were involved, and the Brooklyn Nets were involved. And then the Pacers also got involved later. So that was a big surprise with Karis LeVert going to the Pacers, Oladipo going to the Rockets, Jared Allen also going to the Cavaliers as well in that deal. The biggest surprises this season, I got to give it up to the Philadelphia Sixers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Sixers are in the first seed right now. They're 12-5, and Joel Embiid is averaging 27.7 points. And I didn't see them being the first seed. They've been have help with Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris has been stepping up, and they've really been hooping. For the Cavaliers, Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, their nickname Sexland. That's their nickname. They've really been showing out so far this season so far. They're in the 7th seed right now, and they're 8-8 hanging in there. They're in the 5 to 8 seed, and they're really hooping. Another a letdown team so far for me has got to be the Washington Wizards. You have Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. Westbrook's been injured a little bit, and now they're on the bottom of the East, and they're looking like a dumpster fire, and people are going to get traded. I didn't see that coming. This NBA season so far has been plagued by injury and COVID and game cancellations, and it really just shows that summer in the bubble, the teams really had to sacrifice staying away from the kids, so that's why the bubble worked. And the NBA did it great, but I understand the players don't want to be away from their families again just to play basketball. I really want to do a draft video, an all-time player draft with a bunch of my friends, and I might start doing live reaction to games. I might give you guys some gambling spreads. So whatever you guys want to see, please let me know, because GEP Talk, we're willing to adapt and expand the brand. But thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please share. And that's episode 3 of GEP Talk.